We're back, and this is the part of the episode where we're going to hit Flash number 5 and number 6 because they really are. We were going to talk about the Flash 5 and then do another time for the Flash 6, but you can't because the way the stories are, you really got to talk about them both at the same time. And Josh is really anxious to talk about the Flash.
Yeah, really anxious to say the phrase, I knew it, over and over again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's start off by talking about first the Flash number 5, Barry Allen's Day Off. And Mina and Barry Allen have really hit a connection there. Mm-hmm. Connection in the Speed Force, connection in life, and literally they're on the fast track, which is kind of a good name for Mina.
Yeah, and it also, she also explains that she can sense other speedsters using the Speed Force. So, which is another reason for her to call herself Fast Track, because then she can find all these people, which sort of explains how they got all those speedsters at Star Labs in the first place.
It was cool they got all this, where she's taking a role. Also, what was cool is when she took the role of trying to bring in New 52 Wally West. That I like that little story plot that they had where Wally isn't quite ready to announce that he has speed, is one with the Speed Force, but Mina will take him out and train him in her own little way. And that gives Wally a comfort with her, a comfort with himself, especially when they have to rescue the 2 window cleaners off of the building when the rope breaks and they run up the building and they create that air cushion to come back down. Really gains a lot of trust with Wally, which I think was really cool because right now he's kind of been floating around. Where do I fit in? I don't feel really good about myself. Yeah. But with Mina, he does.
Yeah, definitely. New 52 Wally seems to have more self-esteem issues.
Yep.
And might not have even been comfortable, maybe even approaching the Flash to do that. Because he doesn't know that Barry is the Flash.
Right.
At least yet. So he might not have been comfortable trying to explain, hey, I have superpowers just like you, and I've had him for a while. So, hey, will you train me? But maybe to have a new face like Mina, that might work.
It finally allows Barry to get back to his Barry life, and he goes in and he's trying to investigate the murders that Godspeed has done, and he's not really finding anything. He's looked over and over and over. He hasn't found anything. Meanwhile, August is just wrapping up cases left and right, really taking advantage of what he has with the Speed Force, which is one person, but he uses it in a different way. He's looking for, what did he call it, vengeance? Where Barry Allen is looking for justice, which I think is, August is just kind of confusing it. So you're starting to sense a little bit of difference between how Barry and how August use the Speed Force.
Yeah. And that, this all sort of comes to light with, Mina goes back to Star Labs and finds Godspeed. Yes. And he's attacking a few of the speedsters. And she kind of brings it upon herself to save them. She sends out Avery, the pink-haired girl, who we've seen a few issues now, to go get the Flash. And she and these speedsters try to prevent Godspeed from stealing their powers and presumably their lives. And they decide to run counter to how he's running around them. And by the time Barry gets there, Mina's just a uniform. Yep. And the other 2 speedsters are dead. So.
Yeah, what's the reason? Why would they bring in a character you start to like and then all of a sudden take you away? That was, I don't know if that's done purposely or we're going to get it back. Godspeed doesn't talk.
Yeah. I think the only time we'd seen him up to this point speaking was in one of the, one of Barry's visions, which I think was that Flash Rebirth #1. Yes, is he has that little vision of Godspeed, and Godspeed very audibly says, "I'm going to kill you," and in these, when he appears, when he attacks August and the other speedsters, he doesn't say anything. When he attacks Mina and the other speedsters, and he's on panel for a lot of time, and he doesn't say a thing.
Well, he did say something at the very beginning of the issue, I believe, was when he was dragging that one person. I think was that
That's 6.
That's 6. Okay, he does say something then, but yeah.
Yep.
But just to see Barry break down at the end of Mina being gone, I felt for him.
Yeah. It does make you wonder. That's a way to get the readers involved to play up Mina and then possibly kill her. We don't even really know if she's dead at this point, but she's certainly not going to be in a few issues for.
No.
No.
And from there, let's go to the Flash number 6, where Barry is just racking himself over the loss of Mina. So he goes to see Iris to try to find a new pair of eyes on what is he missing. He's looked through at Godspeed. He's looked every single place, and he can't seem to find them. Well, he decides to. When he talks to Iris and he tells her that Mina's dead, but he doesn't want to mention how she dies or risk exposing his identity, Wally West hears that and he runs off. And that's when the first time that Barry finds out that Wally West is with the Speed Force.
Yeah, and it's sort of that interesting scene where he's looking out the door, trying to figure out where did he go? Where could he have gone that fast? And it's almost like he wouldn't believe it. And he also mentions, what are the chances that, 2 Wally Wests in my life would both be connected to the Speed Force?
Yeah.
And so I think foreshadows that. And he also, he does get one good lead from Linda. And that's that Linda, Iris. So many flashes, so many love interests. I'm getting confused now. But he does get one lead from Iris, which is that of all these speedsters, only one of them wasn't registered at Star Labs.
Exactly.
And
one wasn't a speedster.
Yeah, and he wasn't. Yeah. And Barry says, well, maybe that's not. Maybe they all didn't want to go to Star Labs, but show me the name and I'll take a look at it. And he knows the name, and he goes to confront August because it's Billy Parks.
Yep.
It's the guy who August thinks killed his brother when his brother was murdered years ago. So Barry goes to confront August, and in their little discussion, August owns up to killing Billy.
Yes.
And very quickly it goes from August having killed Billy to August killing the other speedsters.
Because
essentially he says they're wasting their powers. They could be heroes like him, but they're not.
How does August kill him?
Because he's Godspeed.
And now you can say it.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew from. I mean, it was kind of from when August was attacked by Godspeed with the other 2 speedsters, and August didn't get killed. He was injured. He had a broken leg or something, and that reeked of it. It put that little thing in my mind, like, why is he not dead?
Right. And
my only 2 thoughts were, okay, either he's Godspeed, or my alternative theory was maybe his brother was Godspeed. We knew his brother had connections to, was the black hole was connected to his murder. Maybe they brought him back in some way. But no, it's August. So we finally don't need to get another code name for August.
No, he does have one. He's Godspeed.
He has one, yeah. And essentially his mantra is that he's doing what the Flash isn't willing to do.
Exactly.
He's willing to go that extra step to eliminate criminals, to to have vengeance on them.
But Barry says, well, how could you... I saw you get attacked by Godspeed. How is that possible?
Yeah. And so it looks like Godspeed's sort of different power for all the speedsters is that he can be in 2 places at once.
Yes.
He can create sort of a little speed duplicate out of himself, which is kind of a funny thing because they mentioned before that, Barry's so fast, he can't be in 2 places at once.
Exactly.
I mean, he has success at the Flash, but he also struggles to be Barry Allen at work. And, now his new arch nemesis can do that at once.
Yeah, because at first he said he was going to call himself the new and improved Flash, but he's so much better, but he decided he would be judge, jury, and executioner, so he will be Godspeed because he was faster than the Flash. And you see August kind of his true colors saying, well, they could be heroes, but they weren't willing to do what they wanted to do. And then you see the two Godspeeds attacking Barry. It doesn't look very good for Barry.
Yeah. Well, and it's also revealed that August has a lot of anger at Barry.
Yes.
I mean, he does blame Barry's...
A lot of resentment.
Yeah. Barry's sort of, lax work schedule.
Yep.
For, I mean, both as, as a police scientist and as the Flash for not solving his brother's murder, maybe not even preventing his brother's murder.
Yep.
So...
He's saying if you have these powers, you could have preempted a lot of this instead of being reactive. And so how long is this going to play out? Because you've got a very strong villain in Godspeed that is kind of the anti-Barry in a way of not just anti-Flash, not the Reverse Flash, but how he goes about his life. And you know someone, and he knows who Barry is. A lot of possibilities with this revelation.
Yeah. I kind of get the sense this story arc's going to come to a conclusion pretty quick.
Yeah.
Especially since the end teaser says, no more speedsters. So, we'll see who gets to Star Labs first, whether that's the Flash or whether that's Godspeed.
Exactly.
And I think it's also worth noting too when Barry's talking to August at the beginning, and he's talking about Mina, and he's thinking about finding just her costume.
Yep.
Is he does reflect back to when he became one with the Speed Force. The classic Crisis on Infinite Earths one where he, looked like he just exploded into lightning.
Yep.
And he sort of pictures that happening to Mina. Is there a possibility for her to come back? Because Barry came back from that.
Yeah, possibly. We'll get that later in the road. Right now, right in front of us is Godspeed versus Godspeed wants the Speed Force all to himself, and he wants to do what he says Barry Allen is unwilling to do. Going to make for the next few interesting issues.
Yeah. Should be an interesting fight, and we'll see. So we'll see if the Flash can handle two Godspeeds at once.
And if Wally West will play a role.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Wally will. If he's looking for the Flash, he might find him fighting Godspeed.
Right. Maybe this will bring Wally West out because we know eventually he does become Kid Flash with the Teen Titans.
Yep.
And we'll see where these paths take us. And this is the wrap up. Ends another episode of Comic Book Cove. Any thoughts on anything? Any further thoughts on the issues we talked of?
Well, I mean, we're finally getting some answers to a few things. We're getting more questions in a few stories.
Just like anything else. Any comic books.
Yeah, and we're finally to a point where I can say, I knew it. I knew it. It's over.
Yeah, and now we just got to see what happens now that we know it.
Yep.
So for this episode of Comic Book Cove, if you have any discussion points, any thoughts on these issues, drop us a line at our Facebook site, Delve Into the Void, or on our videos on YouTube, Delve in the Void, and get us a discussion going. So for Comic Book Cove, I'm Tom Morris.
And I'm Josh Holderbaum.
And we will talk to you in the next episode of Comic Book Cove.